Boston bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev is going to be executed for, bombing the Boston Marathon. Fox News are celebrating it like it's some mad medieval execution of William Wallace style public festival. Let's have some Trews.
We vote unanimously that Dzhokhar Tsarnaev shall be sentenced to death. That was the determination of 12 jurors, 7 women and 5 men in the Boston Marathon bombing case.
I suppose the joy of Fox is the inversion of the perhaps ill-judged attempt to frame him as a teen idol, like he was on the front of Rolling Stone. That was a controversy at the time, wasn't it? And just the inescapable fact that he's a good-looking young man. So that jars, like when you think of the propaganda about sort of Islamist terrorists, you're, I am Islamist terrorist, I have hook for hand. That one like, hello, I'm an Islamic terrorist. Oh, you're a dreamboat. So it's sort of, it's jarring.
The judge told the jury they performed with grace and that they should be proud of their service. United States Attorney General Loretta Lynch
Loretta Lynch mob
released a statement saying,
now, obviously, I'm the kind of person that doesn't really get off on death penalties because it's an expression of the same rage that's being condemned. It's wrong to kill, and therefore we're killing you. Like, it just doesn't make sense, even using the most basic childish logic about ethics and morality. If something's wrong, then it's wrong. It can't be it's wrong for these people to do it, but it's not wrong for these people to do it. And that, I suppose, is what's at the heart of this ideological conflict between secular, corporate, colonising nations like the United States, primarily the United States, and religiously led ideologies like Islam, specifically extremist fundamentalist Islam as practiced by sort of lone kids.
The ultimate penalty is a fitting punishment for this horrific crime, and we hope that the completion of this prosecution will bring some measure of closure to the victims and their families.
There's a sort of blurring between the language used here and the kind of language we're getting used to seeing around forms of entertainment. The ultimate penalty, like it's like a monster truck rally or a MMA bout. Today, the bout between Islam and America is gonna face the ultimate penalty. It's the language has become blurred because it's become entertainment. We were invited to see the marathon as a form of entertainment, the bombing of the marathon as a form of entertainment, the kid as a sort of a grim anti-hero antagonist, and now we're invited to witness this climax as a sort of an ultimate penalty is not being presented. And I suppose this is Fox News' job, but we use Fox News because in their extremism they demonstrate cultural attitudes.
Greg, your reflections and thoughts on the death penalty?
Well, it's fitting. He gave us the finger, and we're going to give him the needle.
I don't think Greg Gutfield is a person you could legitimately turn to for reflections. It's not W.B. Yeats. And now, for some reflections, it's Greg Gutfield. I, wandered lonely as a cloud, and I fucking stamped on some daffodils because they were fags.
And I'm just wondering how Rolling Stone is going to commemorate this. Will there be a souvenir issue with a fold-out poster?
How can Greg Gutfield be snooty and condemnatory about Rolling Stone's mild deification or celebration or presentation of the kid when they are just doing the reverse of it? Either it's wrong or it isn't. Don't show a photo of him. Don't put ultimate penalty. Don't have a stamp saying death penalty like in a mocked up military font. Either it's wrong to take a strong stance and present this stuff or it isn't.
We heard a lot of interesting arguments about saving his life. And there are people saying that life in a cage is worse. I disagree. Human beings, in my opinion, can adapt to any surroundings.
Reflections with Greg Gutfield.
He would have had hobbies, he would have had books, he would have had food.
Books and food, all of the luxuries.
The idea that a loss of freedom is worse than a loss of life is an absolute lie.
There's an absolute lie there. Greg confirming that he knows for certain what the nature of the afterlife is. Where Shakespeare failed, where Dante failed, Gutfield has succeeded.
This is a wonderful thing, and the other great thing is I love the fact that his sick little groupies won't be able to send him any more letters because he'll be underground, he'll be dead, they're going to have to find another pin-up ghoul.
You'll notice that because 3 people died in the Boston Marathon, which is obviously a tragedy for the 3 people and the 3 families and the groups of friends that are left behind. But it's not a satisfying statistic for the story, so it's not coming up again. Statistics that you won't hear presented on Fox News particularly is the deaths from firearms every year. In the United States, 20,000 people shoot themselves every year. 20,000. So we're only discussing narrative now. That's all we're discussing. What does this execution give us? Nothing, except a story.
Maybe they can marry him before he dies.
Even using his own rationale, Greg's talking about twisted adolescents who feel alienated, and because of the fact that he's on magazines and he's like a good-looking kid, have seen him as a source of their own alienation and disillusionment and disenfranchisement. These are obviously children that are kind of wayward and could do so. Greg's approaching them laterally on their level. Ah! You shouldn't like that kid, you should like me! In a country that has more guns per person than any other country in the world, where the American murder rate is 50 times that of any other developed nation, where women are estimated to be 11 times more likely to be murdered with a gun than women in any other developed country, why does the focus fall on this particular story? Because it's a story that helps to maintain the order. The story of Dzhokhar Tsarnaev is the story of let us stay in control. Let us do what we need to do. Let us spy on you, execute you, sell to you, do whatever we need to do to you. The story of the prevalence of firearms and deaths from firearms is a story of question what's happening, dismantle powerful organisations, look at the way the world is run, look at media, look at transnational corporations, look at the gun lobby, look at how decisions are made, how power is enacted. Stories that encourage you to speculate in that direction and far worse, act in that direction are suppressed, lacquered, concealed, removed. Stories that make you think, I'm just going to stay in my room, shut the fuck up and consume, are constantly promoted. Greg Gutfield may be sort of baffled, or claimed to be baffled and irritated, but he is every bit as much a poster boy for corporate America and the many, many deaths and the blood that that has in its hands as this kid is a poster boy for disillusioned youth. That's some true news. Subscribe here.
Nose is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Trews is like the nose. If the nose was true, I want some Trews. Let's have some Trews.